It was there, and then it was on there. What happened? I am still seeing hosting night attack.
I'm not.
Nope, I am not. We're fixed now. All right, I'm there. Oh, she may not have seen the call on Skype because it came up as a pop-up and not a call, so I try to add her again
Alright.
to the call.
Let me fuss you with your video first. Skeech. Hmm. You know what? I don't need to do that, I don't think. Okay, I'll go back to Skype.
Going through all of the Discords right now.
Oh, it's starting another fucking call. Oh, I hate this.
Hello.
Hello?
Hi.
Well, there you are. I lost Jen.
What is my camera doing? Camera, can we have a conversation? It's not. It's doing a weird thing where it's blurring out my
Hold on.
settings. Camera. Yeah. Do not blur my background. Thank you very much. Okay. And microphone is working. Okay. Good. Are good now. Very good. The moment Skype started ringing, my cat jumped up onto my chair. She's like, aha, I know this. I know how to do this. Are you done? No, you're just turning around.
Okay, there's you. Now I need to get Jen to come back on the call.
That's weird because, like, I had in my ongoing call thing, it says that you're both in here.
Yeah. Well, we were in one and you weren't answering it.
Weird.
And, yeah, ongoing call. I have you in a window. I had Jen all sorted. Now I have you and she's gone.
Okay, so are we all on the same call now?
Okay, now we're all on the same call.
Hooray.
Hooray.
I was like, why is it so quiet? What happened to the sound? Oh, wait.
Do something weird.
Okay. All right. All right. All
Myself.
right.
Move you.
Yep. I was telling Ember, the moment Skype started to ring, my cat jumped up onto my chair. She was like, okay, ready.
I'm going to throw this one away.
Can't do the video?
I think I can. Hold on.
Okay.
I hope so, because I just threw away some images. Should be able to... Oops. Change change the shape of this.
Do-do-do.
Hey, if you're just gonna hang with me, that's fine. But if you start bothering the shit out of me because you're hungry, I'm gonna throw you out.
Moving our names around. And now I gotta...
Hey, look, it's you.
Yeah, it's like, hey, honey.
Ah,
Sorry, I'm gonna mute myself for a second.
that's okay.
Alright.
You just scared me. Like, yes, dear. Yes. How can I help you, dear? Is it blurring my background again? Why does it want to do this all the time? Like, what if I don't want to have my background blurred? Why does it feel like it needs to be the default setting on the planet? Like, when did Skype decide that everybody
It's
wants their
irritating.
Okay.
shit blurred?
I'm back. Sorry, I didn't
Welcome back.
mean to yell in your ear.
It was okay. It just startled me. I was just scared. I was just like, oh God, why? Oh, poor September. Now let's just hope Skype doesn't continue to cause issues. Hey, that works.
Almost.
Almost. Almost.
You guys. The Skype window a little bigger.
Almost. We've almost done it, guys.
Come on. Come on. Let's scooch you this way.
Yeah. We can only see the tops of our heads, please.
And I will...
What's that? That looks pretty good to me, actually. Oh, well. Well, it did.
I was trying to even us out a little.
Oh.
A little bit.
I mean, at this
For-
point, I think we...
Alright.
Doodly doo 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 doodly doo 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 boop. Okay. And my cat has abandoned me for food. That's fine.
Pretty sure food is cooler than human. Is the
Yeah.
default setting for all animals, as far as I'm aware.
Especially cat.
All right, let me see if I can host. I'm hosting. I've tweeted. I discorded. I have. I woke up today with fewer spell slots than prepared.
That happens.
Right?
Okay, that's
That's good enough. Oh, look at that.
enough.
Look at that. That's
Yeah.
sufficient. That I can live with this. All of this is good for me. We can live with this.
video and everything.
My room is so bright. That happens when you
That's
realize.
right. I live in like a hole in the wall, so it's fine.
That happens when you realize that one of your light bulbs has been burned out for like half a year.
Like I just did that, and then I jacked up my camera. Just give it a second, September. Don't move anything yet. Oh, why is my Skype window being so stupid? Okay, how's that? Maybe? Nope, needs to go up or down just a smidgen more. Let's see if that's better. I'm getting there. Sorry, Skype did an update and, as usual, jacked everything on the planet up like it likes to do.
Yep.
Pretty much Skype's general MO is to be as complicated. Cogswell!
Cogswell.
Biddies! Biddies! Thank you for the bits, Cogswell.
Show us
Thank
your
you for the
biddies.
support. Hey, I'll show you all the biddies you could ever want, September. Oh, different kind of biddies. My bad. What just happened?
I just wanted to
Oh,
center Jen's name.
no, I thought I did
or
something wrong.
Linda's
My
name.
lighter. That's my lighter.
No, it's like I can't touch the PC monitor or the whole display. Because to put your video in for you guys, the Skype call's on that, and I have
Like,
to let
everything
it sit
will
in
blow
one
up.
spot. Yeah,
Basically, don't move anything or everybody explodes.
so I
Got
can
it.
only work with the Mac while we're doing this.
Under control. Hey, everything's gonna be just fine. So I think I'm good to roll forward here.
My lovely scented candle. Already.
What is this free loot thing?
I know, right? There's like, it's
That's
like Twitch, like
irritating,
all of the
and-
free shit for you. Okay.
But what's this other? that the
Are you
chat
gonna be able to
wall?
pull
That's
the
a weird
VOD from
place.
this? Because if I record it, I feel like it's gonna be the wrong version. Are you gonna be able to just pull the VOD from this?
All right.
Or
I'm
can
gonna
you
hit
record it through OBS?
Ah!
Yeah.
I hit record in OBS in Streamlabs,
Cool.
but normally I pull the VOD, but the last couple shows it like was being weird and wasn't
Well, right,
saving
and I
them
usually
anymore.
send you one, but if I record it through OBS, it's gonna have the audio issues that I'm experiencing will carry through to that video. So we
We'll
don't want
take
that.
all the versions we can manage and I'll make it go as best I can. How about that?
Yeah, as long as you hit record on the Streamlabs, you should be fine because you should have a copy of it on your computer when you're done.
Yeah, I.
That's how I do it on the
think.
show
Let's
normally,
see.
is exactly that way. Welcome to Podcast Chat, where we talk about how we make our podcast.
Okay.
Available on Mondays.
All right, hit
Where
record
we're-
on Streamlabs,
We're
which I've
back.
never used. So
we're back in new with the new stuff to talk about, but the same old technical issues.
Actually, these are new and more exciting technical issues, actually.
New and more exciting technical issues.
I wish they were the same old technical issues because I feel like I would have figured them out by now. But instead, no, there's always new and more interesting things.
it's the nature
happening.
of technology.
Yeah, pretty much. That's pretty much the way of it. Anyway, let's do a friggin' show, kids.
Yeah.
Woo!
So
Show.
I'm gonna go, but then I think we're just gonna add in bumpers and audio or whatever is being added in later. Is that correct?
Yes.
Or do we? Okay,
Yes.
cool. Got it. Awesome. Rock and roll. Okay. Those of you that are hanging out live in chat, don't forget you can use Bang S in the chat. Bang S space the suggestion for show titles. We like this. It's awesome.
Oops.
Let me explain it by putting Showbot in there. So yeah,
Actually,
submit your
let me
show
make sure all
title
that's reset.
ideas.
and going.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
Uh,
too.
Nightbot.
Fun thing to double check. I'm just here to make sure everything's working. I'm here to break things, actually. I need to break things so that we can make sure that they're working properly. Isn't that how that works? I
Yes.
think? Maybe.
Yes. Always.
It's called
Cool.
quality control. Quality testing.
Quality control. I love it. Okay. I'm.
I
Why
authorized.
is it saying? Okay, I'm gonna reload this chat because I am having a
Okay. Nightbot
Okay.
logged in.
Showbot reset, and we are good to go.
Is it? Did you do that?
Maybe.
Okay. Well, I
I
gotta
don't
log
know.
into it first. Because I normally do that on the other machine.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause I'm a big nerd. Okay, reset Showbot. Okay, so, yes. Now, anybody who wants to suggest show titles can now do it with Showbot.
Hooray!
Test. Stuff.
I love it. I love it. Awesome. Cool.
Dirty if I can type and be good.
DCRV.
Yeah.
What's that mean?
It's me not typing the right words.
Oh, got it. That's cool. Love it. I was like,
She's-
what is? I'm
she's-
thinking it's like.
I
She's-
still can't do it. See,
She's Swedish chefing it.
yes.
That's
what I do.
The funny thing is, I was trying to figure out what the acronym was. I was like, okay,
it's not even-
Democratic candidates returning visitors. What? I don't know.
God. I don't remember how to
Well,
use
then-
Showbot.
I mean, the second attempt kind of looks like you were going for scurvy.
No, we've got a DC TV command in our
Yes.
Nightbot, and I'm trying to use it.
You're doing the S first. That's why you want
That's
DCTV.
I'm
Stop.
still. There's Bird.
Got it. I got it for you. Reminder, guys, if
Alright.
you also make
There.
high-quality content like we do, you can be a
works.
part of the Diamond Club Network. You can become part of the Diamond Club Network. Hit Bang DC TV in the chat to learn more about Diamond Club, or go to diamondclub.tv.
Okay, you gotta understand, I've got my whole studio space is literally, it's not even fingertip to fingertip. I have to put my hands up. And I
Welcome
have
to the
2 monitors
Club
and 2
recreational
computers. So
vehicle.
one is on this pull-out. I have a keyboard that's in the dark that is bamboo that I am typing on.
Okay. What's up,
Hey,
Broman? Thank you
Broman.
for joining us. We're gonna make a podcast eventually.
All right.
All right. Are we good? Everybody
We're good
feeling
now.
good? Are we?
Yeah,
Are we
let's
ready
do
to
some
do a show?
count.
Shake it out. I'm almost ready.
I'm wearing my big, fancy sleeves for this.
You have big fancy sleeves for this? I didn't know.
Yeah.
Nobody told me that we needed to have big fancy sleeves. I wasn't prepared.
Nope,
Don't
I
worry,
have-
I'm just extra.
I have
If
11.
only I had known. So we're gonna add in. Okay, so we're gonna add in audio later, bumpers later, other stuff later, stuff and things later. Okay, cool. So all
I'll
I'm gonna
make
do is
it
start talking.
fancy later.
I love it. Okay, let's do it. We're gonna make a show in 3, 2, and hello and welcome to episode 150 of Geek Grills. The Geek Grills podcast is supported primarily by our patrons at patreon.com/grills. I am the Jen, and I am joined by my co-host Linda, also known as True Noob.
We're back.
Hooray! And September, also known as 9 of 12.
Hello, hello, hello.
Yeah, I think that pretty much sums it up. We are in fact back. It has been 2 months
Roughly.
since we had a show, somewhere in that neighborhood. So first of all, I want to thank all of our listeners and friends and family and whatnot who understood us taking a little time to I don't know, rest and recuperate over the holiday, and also deal with, I don't know, America's Next Top Podcaster needed to end. That was the most stressful thing. And then I moved, and then it's just been, I know in my life has been chaos. So I'm sure Linda in September had quite a bit of things going on too. And it just made a lot of sense for us to take a break. And most importantly, that gave us some time to reflect on the show. September and I have been making Geek Grills for 3.5 years now. That is a really long time for a podcast.
It
Most
is.
podcasts have pod faded well before that amount of time. So it was kind of, if necessary, to stop and say, okay, what are we doing with the show? Where do we want the show to go? What can we do to make the show feel more impactful, I think is the word I want to use there. I just felt like personally that it had been a little shallow the last maybe 6 or 9 months of episodes, I would say. And part of that was, I think we just didn't have maybe a clear direction. I don't know. Either of you have any thoughts on that before I
Well, I
continue
mean, it had been so long, and you don't want to recover topics, and there's not always something, I think, grabbing us constantly.
Yeah.
To stay, because we covered a lot of really deep, important stuff, and then we covered things that were more hobbies, and then we go into tech things. So we kept adding, like we added the book club, and we added some spoiler stuff, and we added covering, game events and stuff. But it was just getting diluted, I think, is how I can see what was happening to us. And again, you can't just keep coming up with, body dysmorphia. Like, that's huge, right?
Yeah, no, big topics for sure.
And you don't want to be that way all the time either, so we needed to refocus.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I like the idea of also making it a little bit more focused. I think one of the things that I hated was that it got to the point where people would be like, well, what is your show about? And I'd be like, about whatever we want to talk about. And that's not really a good answer for folks to know what they're getting into. And also the fact that we have a platform and we have an opportunity to talk to people, and we want to do something a little bit more with it maybe than we were. I think what we were doing was just fine, but also there's the opportunity to take advantage of our platform and do a little more with it. So here is what to expect going forward.
Well, and there's this cultural shift. Because I do want to
Yes.
mention that I think is one of the biggest influences
Yes.
on our change. Is when we started this, there was a gap to be filled. Ladies of
Yes.
Lead had gone off the air. There weren't like nerdy women, a lot of us in podcasting. There were one here and there, like a token woman. But fully female run shows, there weren't very many. And over the last few years, there's been a lot of change to that. A lot more female streamers that aren't booby streamers, which is one of the first topics we covered.
Yeah. And we recovered it actually within the last 6 months for that reason.
Yeah, and there has been a cultural shift, and I think we can not worry about like, oh, it's just a bunch of, feminists now, because the female voices are just more normalized and heard, and it's letting us stretch into what Jen's going to explain what we're doing from now on.
Yeah, I love it. I'm glad you brought that up. That is such a key reason why we have the opportunity now to go a little bit more focused, and it's not. And I'm glad that female podcasts are not just a rarity anymore. The fact that I can go through, and there are several podcasts in the top 10 on a weekly basis that have female hosts and multiple female hosts. We're no longer the token third to.
Well, and we got to
the
give Linda some
podcast
credit
set up
here, because they
anymore.
started the same time we did. We just didn't know they were there.
Yeah.
Right. Right. That's what's so funny about it is there's again just so much more females out there just doing content creation, and it's the norm. It's become much more the norm, and I know we talked about that a lot when we revisited the booby streamer topic. But so here's what you can expect going forward. First of all, scheduling update. It is Monday, and you're seeing us now. Get used to that. That's what time we're going to record. So typically it'll be 5 p.m. Pacific, which is 8 p.m. Eastern. With the exception this month, I do have a recording of America's Next Top Podcaster reunion on the 27th. So that will need to be probably an hour later. So just keep in mind, we will be trying to make sure that we are tweeting ahead of time so you know what the topic's going to be. We are going to be working on making sure to tweet when we go live as well, like we have been, so you know where to catch us. But typically, twitch.tv/geekgrills on Mondays at 5 p.m. Pacific, with the exception of the first Monday of the month. We decided that we needed to have a little bit of... we needed a break in the month. There was just too many shows a month happening, and that made it harder for us to focus on creating good content and having good conversations. So we've decided to use the first Mondays to have our production meetings at that time, and that also gives us a little leeway with just having better content overall. So expect on average it'll typically be the three shows a month, with the exception of the months that have extra Mondays, and then we'll play those by ear.
Maybe we'll
Exactly.
bonus content those for patrons.
Yeah, exactly. Here's also what to expect. Pretty much you can still expect that we will use cuss words when we want to, because I just want it to be that way. So we will still continue to allow explicit language.
Because you can't fucking help it, all right?
I can't fucking... I tried to not... It was funny because I was not using the F word, and then I'm like, oh, I'm allowed to right now. For those of you that don't know, I'm going into a teaching program, and so I'm trying desperately to figure out how to stop cussing after every other word that I say.
This is just gonna be like when you let loose, isn't it? You're gonna come back from teaching on Mondays, and this is gonna be like, you're gonna be like bleep 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 bleep. That's all.
It's literally just gonna be a string of words that you can't say on TV. Yeah. So you can definitely expect that. You'll still have the three of us. None of that is going to change. We still will be talking about nerdy things. So here's the new focus. The new focus is going to be on awesome, nerdy females, I guess is the best way to put it. But I guess we've always been clear about the fact that those of you maybe don't know, Geek Grills has always been about the fact that you can be geeky about anything. So don't expect that every single awesome female that we talk about is necessarily going to be traditionally nerdy. They could be from any kind of category. But the idea is just to do a spotlight and a story about awesome women doing awesome things out in the world. So Geek Grills, essentially. And Linda actually came up with a really awesome idea that I'm excited about. When we don't have enough going on in current events for women that we want to talk about, we have the opportunity to do some historical grills.
Mhm.
And in fact, next episode on Monday will be, is it Ann Claw? Is that her name? I think we're going to be talking about Ann Claw. It's her
Yep.
birthday is January
Yeah, I'm
20th.
like,
So
the
we figured
claw,
that was
cloth.
perfect.
We gotta look that part up.
Yeah. It's Claugh. I think it's Claw, but who knows? We'll figure it out by Monday. But that's an example. Today, we're actually going to be talking about the 99th Miss America pageant and the winner of this year's Miss America pageant. So that's our topic today, just as an example. Um, but yeah, so I just wanted to give you guys some heads up on what to expect. We wanted to have the ability to have more focused conversations, allow us to have a little bit more prep in what we're doing. So that's going to give us that by having the first Monday off. But other than that, you can still expect great conversation, us to be gigantic goofballs, and me to cuss as much as humanly possible. I mean, maybe. We'll see. Oh, gosh.
Gotta
All right.
let off that pressure valve somewhere.
Right, somewhere. It's got to go somewhere. It has to. All right, y'all. Anything else you guys want to add before we get into it?
No?
I did want to mention, because one of our loyal followers, being Reverend Barney, and he was the one who initially made the suggestion that we are going to be keeping the book club episodes.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
And we're not going to go all the way to feminist literature, but probably mostly female authors and protagonists is the conversation we've had so far.
Yeah, so we will still have book club. Don't worry. I still and also we did discuss the fact that actually reminds me of the other thing too. I love when we do our spoiler-in episodes. I think they're great. We always talk about the Bechdel test anyway when we do. I still think it's appropriate for us to do our spoiler-in episodes when there's a movie that comes out or something that we want to talk about too. So, like for example, Captain Marvel was one of my favorite episodes that we did last year.
Can I get dibs on the Birds of Prey spoiler episode hosting? Please.
Yes.
Of course, because we know that September is the resident DC fan, hardcore DC fan.
Harley's kind of my thing.
Kind of your thing, just kind of. No, I just don't want those to go away. I think they're just too fun. So keep in mind today's conversation about Miss America, a little more abridged, just so we can have the opportunity to explain some of the changes coming down the line. But typically should expect the episodes to be about the same length as before, or just whatever the topic requires. But yeah, hopefully y'all like it and enjoy the changes. If there's anything that you suggest, if you have ideas, if you have thoughts or feelings, you can always share them with us. At Geek Grills on Twitter is probably the most direct way to do so. You can also email us at You can also email us at geekgrills@gmail.com. It made it sound very confusing, like I was doing a Twitter handle again. This is so confusing. Yeah, so share with us your thoughts and feelings there if you wish to do it privately. Otherwise, Twitter is awesome. I like it. I've actually been paying attention to it more lately. And also Redditing more too, which I don't know if that's good or bad, but we'll see.
I think that depends on what Reddit hole you go down.
Oh, that's true. I have Cats Who Yell is like my favorite thing these days. But also like Bad Woman Anatomy makes me scared. So today, talking about the 99th Miss America pageant, so wait for that in a minute. First, let's catch up. So kiddos, ladies, awesome people that are in the show with me. What in the heck have you been up to for the last couple months? Linda, let's start with you.
I've been doing what I do best, which is lots and lots of crochet. So I put in my application to be juried for MomoCon. I'm waiting to hear back from them. They should be getting back to me by the 15th. So
to be what?
To be an artist alley. So I put in. You have to put in an application for your things to be.
No, it's not jury, everybody. Jury is a verb.
Not jury.
I was like, it's funny because like that means something different to me than it does to most people because I've had so much interaction with jury recently that when somebody says it, that's the first thing that comes to my mind.
No, she doesn't want to be torn apart on her art.
No,
if you do though, America's Next Top Podcaster next season, just feel free to sign up. It's
fine. Every time he goes to talk to me, I'll just shove a plushie in his face. Anyway,
it's strong. Support that 100%.
So I've made about 12 of these little octopi. I was making them before. This is
so cute.
They're very cute. This is mostly for, people that are on Twitch with us, but it's a little amigurumi octopi for those of you who can't see what I'm showing you. I've also been making Emmy jellyfish in all different colors. So they hang up, so you could either hang them like in your room or off your rear view. This is a little big to hang off your rear view, so
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't encourage that necessarily, but they are kind of adorable though.
I've made about 4 mushroom purses that they look like the Mario mushrooms. I've got red and green. I've been still working on the dragons, and my biggest project that I've been doing right now is this big guy. He's not done yet, but I have a big hello. I have
Okay.
Wow.
For our
So-
audio listeners, this is
I'm
several
sure-
feet long, which he's about to describe. So just
Yeah.
several feet in length. All right, go ahead. Explain the critter.
Oh my
that
god,
you
I'm
have.
recording. I have to feed the pets.
It will be a celestial dragon or a Chinese dragon.
Oh.
It is in fact 5 feet long. He's just all
Shimmy.
sorts of. What this guy
Oh my
is
god.
for is I'm making a bunch of dragon egg bags that to sell at MomoCon, and in each of the bags is going to be like a little ticket that's a different color, and if you get the purple ticket, you win the big dragon. I have little dragons, and I have like a medium-sized dragon, but if you get the purple ticket, you win the big guy. And then you have to carry him around with you for the rest of MomoCon.
Hooray! Oh, and then you also gotta get him home.
You also got to get him home. But
That's okay. Worth it.
they know he'll be on display, so people who are buying dragon egg bags will know what they're getting themselves into. And then he doesn't have his arms on yet. I won't show you the arms, Jen, because I know
Thank
that
you.
disturbs you.
Yeah, dismembered body parts of adorable critters, even though if they're just being crocheted, somehow disturbs me emotionally. So I appreciate that.
But then I've got the big commission I'm working on, which is scarf and several crocheted like shoes, booties. Yeah. So I'm in the middle of that.
Holy moly!
Then I've watched The Mandalorian.
Yes.
Love The Mandalorian. I've
Me
already
too. Well, I
made.
didn't finish it, but I have a couple episodes left. But I loved it, and it was amazing.
I've already made my own pattern for a Baby Yoda. So yes, I've done that.
Oh my god, I died. I literally. So I've seen the Baby Yoda picture, and it was. Oh my god, it's so cute. I need one. I need one. Like I definitely need a Baby Yoda. So that will happen eventually. Awesome.
And then I went to Build-A-Bear because they had on sale the leftover plushies from Shark Week, and they had a whale shark Build-A-Bear plushie, and I got a whale shark Build-A-Bear
Oh
plushie.
my goodness.
So ridiculous.
He's so
That's
ridiculous,
the
and I
most
love him.
ridiculous thing I've ever seen.
And he's gonna sit with me.
Oh my god, that is so ridiculous.
I had a couple LARPs for in the past months. There's usually not too many during the cold months, but we have heated sites for a couple of them, so I was able to go. And then I've been practicing with my new wood burning kit that I got for Christmas. So
Ooh.
making signs and things by scorching lines into wood. It's fun.
That sounds fun. That sounds incredibly fun. Awesome. September, what craziness have you been up to?
Well, holiday stuff. So there's all that. More
Yeah,
appliances
all
breaking. No way.
We're all so shocked. September's house is constantly. There's at least one appliance that has to be like in protest
At all times.
At all times, yes.
in order for it to work.
It's just bizarre. I've been watching a lot of stuff. Of course, the weather's been shitty. So there's that. So yeah, I watched all of The Mandalorian. Love The Mandalorian. I have a cute, actually nifty little story about Hero Crate, is that Scott and Brian's? The Frog Pants, they're on the board of that charity where they make crates of nerdy stuff for
Oh,
foster kids.
yes.
Yes.
I think it's
So,
Hero Crate. Yeah. That sounds
yeah,
right.
so, well, I'd like to properly, I'll put it in the show notes so people can probably see the link, because this is a really amazing charity, and you can donate money, but you can also, like, if you've got extra nerd swag, you can send it to put in these boxes. They know the kids' interests, and it's kind of like they're going to a new home. They always make sure there's a board game in there, so they can, like, share their nerdy interests with their new foster family, and they're having this charity stream, playing Jackbox, which we love the Jackbox. I even ran some Jackbox at my anniversary party this year, and I told my husband I donated some money to it, and he's like, "Well, of course, we must improve the lives of the younglings. This is the way."
This is the
So
way.
I went in the chat and I told Scott that, and Brian and everybody, and Scott lost his mind. He's like, "That's the funniest thing I heard all day. I'm sending you a Baby Yoda drawing," and we did actually get
Aw.
it in the mail the
Are
other
you kidding?
day.
Hold on. Stop. Are you telling me that Scott Johnson successfully offered you a prize and mailed that prize
Yes,
in less than a month?
at all. This is the first time, other than the Christmas cards, which I'm pretty sure either his swag person or Kim takes care of. I have won prizes several times on TMS, and I only get them if Brian mails them.
Yeah,
if
pretty
it's a
much.
game code, Scott will PM it immediately, but never has
Yeah.
Scott successfully mailed me something before that he promised. But so we got that, and I it was funny because then you have to say something in chat so he can get you a PM quick. And so what did I say? Guess. I have spoken.
Yes, of course. That makes perfect sense. Love it.
So that was fun. We watched All the Witcher, finished that up the other day. Looking for a
Yay.
new one. It's going to be way too long. My husband's also playing that, and I just watch because
Looking
I would be
forward to
terrible at it.
watching that.
We've been watching Clone Wars, finally.
Okay.
Really enjoying that. That's kind of becoming our bedtime watch. Now, Shweddy is another Twitch channel I'd like to turn people on to. I like to watch cooking shows. That's another of my things, is I like to cook. We've talked about that a lot in the past. And the Hungry channel kind of just has the same rotation over and over and over and over and over of a handful of things. And there's a regular viewer there who started his own channel. It's Shwedy, Schwedy, and he was doing also 80s TV commercials for a while, which was fun. But it's a lot more varied content. There's YouTubers, a lot of just no voiceover Korean street food people, like all over the world, people who are out in the Vietnamese jungle cutting down, making their own strainers and cooking materials. Like, it is a very zen place for me to go and watch food streaming.
Nice.
And
We'll definitely put that in the notes
there
too
all
for
the
folks.
time.
But that's awesome.
I started playing the Untitled Goose Game.
Yay!
This game.
Oh
I
my
haven't played
goodness.
it, but I've watched so many people play it that I felt like I didn't need to. I mean, TwitchCon, we sat in a room. It was like Sunbun and like a whole bunch of other people. A jury was there too, of course. And so there's somebody like playing the goose game, and then what happens is like there's a whole bunch of drunk people telling the person how to play the goose game, which actually makes the goose game even more entertaining. When people are backseat goose gaming.
I forgot to mention that one of my friends played it and loved it so much that I found a goose pattern and I made her a goose for Christmas. It had a little red bow and it was holding a bell in its beak.
Now, I've already had to just cheat a couple times and look something up after a bunch of tries, but I do like, it's right up my alley for like trying to solve the puzzle of how to get the thing to happen that's on the list.
Yeah.
Right?
No, I do like the puzzly side of it too, and it's just delightful. It's a delightful game. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. I support.
Last night, Joker is on Redbox, finally, and we did not go see it in theaters.
I need to go see it. I need to watch it, but I need to watch it not alone. So I'm gonna do that now that it's available for renting.
Well, yeah. So I went to Redbox, got that last night, and Rob found it really, really boring. The first two acts. He was like, the third act was a decent payoff, but he was bored. He didn't like it. If you're just in for a superhero movie, that's not what this is. It is a character study.
This is definitely not a superhero movie.
No, it is a character study, and I freaking loved it.
I was gonna say, and you ate it up because that is one of the things that you love.
I did, and I mean, I hate the Joker because of a lot of things, but at least
Sure.
now it has backup, it has story. Now people's like, oh, he's such a great villain. No, not really. He's just a manic crazy fuck. You know, he never had any depth, and then there wasn't any consistency. And I mean, granted, this isn't hard canon now or anything, but I think they in the character study filled out all the kinds of things that I need for it to be a good villain. I mean, down to carrying on the cycle of abuse and his relationship with Harley, to just and you know what? All the haters out there, gee, what happened to all the people who are going to feel justified by their mental illness and go kill everyone? No, that's not happening. That's not what this is. But it does seem to address, like, well, these things should be treated for reasons. So anyway, I fucking loved it. I will watch it again and again, given the opportunity. I've been doing a little singing, which is exciting. And today I actually went to see an expert vocal therapist at the surgeon's office.
Awesome.
And had a little talk about that and some exercises I can do, because I've only been approved by, insurance for 2 of these coaching sessions, but I found, my husband's found a really good vocal coach on YouTube that I will be watching more of, because he also has a lot of very, very useful things. I'm trying to, like, what the hell.
There's some cool master classes out there too that are like available in video form that a lot of folks recommend too. Kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
Google Foo. Let your Google Foo be strong.
Yeah, well, Chris Liepe, Liepe, just fantastic. And he is a professional, and like how the breathing works, and we talked about my podcasting and then all kinds of stuff. So that was a really good session, and I'm glad I did it, even though I was a nervous wreck before I went.
Aw. And for those of you that don't know, by the way, like this is a huge deal for September. Last year she had to have surgery that meant that she had to not talk for, was it 2 weeks, two or 3 weeks?
Oh,
zero talking.
Yeah.
And then after that, it has been therapy and whatnot, because you had it was on the vocal cords, right? You had a vocal cord.
Yeah, I had a polyp covering one entire side of my vocal cords.
Yeah. So this was that was one of the things that was just crazy to me to think about, is how much we use our voice, and as podcasters in particular, how much we use our voice, but also even if you only sing for fun. Kind of a big thing to think about. And so that's awesome that you're at the point now where you're being able to work on that and sing again. And I love it. That makes me really
you
happy.
may have seen my video on Facebook. Rob videoed me recently, and it was the next time I was at one of his gigs, people started pestering me to get up and sing.
Yay!
Having seen that.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I've been up to a million things. I moved to a new state. I moved to Las Vegas. So I moved, and then during my move, I got shingles, which is cool. I didn't know that was a thing that you could just like randomly get. So that was neat. Super fun. No, it was really crazy. It has just been an absolute crazy month and a half. So I am ready for the new year. I'm very excited. I have a super intensive program starting soon. So I went through my orientation. I've been having to do all this foundation background homework just to get ready for basically being in school again. And it was crazy because I've taken my college classes all online since my undergraduate. So it's been almost 15 years since I have been in a classroom learning environment. So when I had the orientation for a couple hours the other day, I just had this realization, like, I'm going to be in a classroom a couple times a week. This is a completely, it has been a while. So I've just been getting ready for that. I have been playing quite a bit of Minecraft. I'm playing on the Breakdown Craft server. So I found this server, there was this guy who makes videos, and I was just trying to figure something out, and I started watching his videos, and I kept watching more of his videos, and he would advertise the server. And so they have 3 servers, but the one that I play on is the medieval server, which has quests, which is really fun. So I've been playing it, and it's creative, it's a nice creative outlet. The server's really nice. There's no PvP, no griefing, none of that. So it's just a fun way to, instead of playing Minecraft by myself in my own little world, I get to build stuff and have other people come interact with it. In fact, it's gotten a little intense because there's like a player-based economy, and somehow I ended up with the ownership of a shopping mall that I now run on the server. So it has gotten a little more involved than I had intended. But it's funny because I used to play Auction House on World of Warcraft so much. So of course it makes sense that this is the thing that I've gravitated to in Minecraft, is how to sell things in Minecraft. And the player-based economy. I've also been playing League of Legends. That's always fun. Not just Teamfight Tactics. I've actually been playing some regular ranked games with my brother, which has been really cool because it just gives me something to do with them. They're up in Reno. I did actually get to make a quick trip up to Reno for Christmas, which I wasn't expecting to be able to do. So that was really awesome. Did take a trip back to Chicago, not for joyous reasons, unfortunately, but I did get to go back there and see friends when I was there too. But yeah, so I've just been trying to get settled into my new place, in the new town, in the new state, and all the things. I did go see the new Star Wars movie. I did watch most of The Mandalorian. I need to finish the last couple episodes. Also, I started Doctor Who.
Okay.
I know, I'm a bad nerd. Everybody can take my nerd card away.
Wow.
I have seen the first 2 episodes like 6 times, okay? And so I'm finally like, okay, I am going to actually watch it.
Where are you starting?
Yeah, where are you starting?
With Rose.
Okay.
So that felt like the right place to start for me. And I've seen those first 2 episodes, like I said, like a bajillion times. But I am actually starting from there, and I am watching it, and I enjoy it. I never didn't enjoy it. My biggest problem was I didn't have access to it because they took it off of Netflix. Like right when I had started watching it, I was like, oh, I'm going to do this. And I watched the first 2 episodes, and then first 2 or 3 episodes, and then they took it off Netflix like the next day. And I was like, well, I guess I'm not going to watch Doctor Who now. So I have a friend with a Plex who has allowed me access to Doctor Who. So I am now watching it. Also, I do see that September has given us the appropriate link for the heartcrate.org. It's not Hero Crate, it's Heart Crate.
Yeah, Heart Crate is sending stuff to soldiers.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's hard to tell because there's so many crates for things and stuff and things. But yeah, so it's been a little crazy in Genland. Also, I just want to give a thanks to all of our listeners who reached out to me recently with the loss of my family and everything else that I've been going through. A lot of support from you guys, and I just want to say thanks because you guys are awesome. And yeah, so yeah, that's what I've been up to.
Yeah.
Lots of crap.
Lots of stuff.
It's been like, it's just weird. Like it's a new year, a new decade. It's the 20s again. I mean, that's cool, right?
I was dressed in my 20s best at my my party.
I know. I went to a 20s themed New Year's party, and I was wishing you lived nearby and I could borrow something.
Oh my god, I know. That's one of my favorite times for fashion too. So I love it.
It's because they decided to be comfortable.
Right?
It's so
and women
comfortable.
wore pants. That's one of the things that people forget, is that in all of our history during the 20s, there was a lot of women that wore pants at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Like the pants wearing went away again. Like it wasn't like people forget that, and it's interesting to me that we had to go away from that to come back to pants. And they had pockets then too when they had pants, which also makes me mad.
Pockets
because
you
I
put
can't even
stuff
get
in
pockets
even?
half the time today.
Need pockets.
Ugh, Jesus, I know, right? Can I have some friggin' pockets? All right. With that, let's get into the heart of our discussion for at least a little bit. Again, guys, I know it's going to be a truncated discussion today. We had a lot to go over to get everybody back in the saddle with what we were going to be doing with Geek Grills. So, but I definitely wanted to talk about this. I saw it come up in the news and got super excited. I actually used to watch the Miss America pageants when I was a little girl, mostly because my stepmother used to watch the Miss America pageant. So, like, I grew up watching them. But what they're doing now is actually really cool. So, we'll put the link in the chat here, but the missamerica.org/competition, they explain that the Miss America 2.0. So their thought is, first of all, this is a 98-year history of this pageant. And it was the first competition to offer a talent category and then soon after scholarship awards for young women to basically go to college and further their education. But the whole thing is that if you've ever watched the Miss America pageant, there's the swimsuit category and the evening gown category, and
Mhm.
it's really. And then they ask them a couple questions about world peace, and then they pick who's the prettiest, and I don't know, or who has the most casting on
Yeah.
their teeth, whatever. I don't know, whatever the case may be, they get chosen. Um, this is their new approach, and I'm going to read it right from their website because I think that I like the way that they put it. They said, Miss America has evolved in society as women in society have evolved. This past year, candidates were no longer judged on outward appearance. That meant the elimination of the swimsuit competition and additional time and focus on the candidates' voices to be heard more often. So right there, that's their main approach, and the difference is representing women of today and where women are now. Which I love. I think that's great.
Well, I
We
think
all
there's a lot
know.
of subtle changes I found really interesting. I mean, just changing it from calling them contestants to calling them candidates, I find
Yes.
very interesting.
Yes.
Well, I mean, because connotations, right?
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
the people who are in charge of this are very intelligent and know what connotations will do to, like, like without your brain even knowing what it's doing. You know, that's how subtle it is.
Well, in the
So,
job they do, I mean, they've been ambassadors for women, and they do scholarships and service stuff, and so I think this is a fantastic change as we try to move more women into STEM and that kind of thing.
Yes.
This is a
Yes.
much better representation that you're going to end up with for those services.
100% agreed. And that's one of the things that I like about this too is it actually gives a platform. They're really focusing on the women having a platform to talk about how they plan to make a social impact and what kind of an impact or initiative that they want to do. And there's actually more time that devoted to them talking about that. And I'm sure all of us have had every we've all heard, one or two snippet of the kind of, I hate how they represent them, kind of being the airheaded, women. They're just like, I just want world peace, right? And like
Yeah.
that's the answers that we had before. This is a lot more of them advocating for their initiatives and talking and one of the things that I like too, and again, I'm just going to read this right off of their website because I think the organization has done a really good job of explaining this adjustment, but the organizations they said, quote, the organization stands for empowering young women across the country to be the best that they can be through leadership, talent, communication skills, and smarts. And although they did not use the Oxford comma in that sentence, I will forgive them. But I do like that that's the things that they're focusing on. So leadership, talent, communication skills, and smarts. And I think that is a better basis than necessarily outward appearance.
well,
And
they kind of knew that they had to change, right?
yes,
Because, I mean, for a few years, starting probably before this, but like definitely in like the 80s and 90s, the Miss America pageant kind of became something of a joke.
kind of. I mean, they literally made a
Uh,
movie about it. Like, I mean,
yeah.
there are so many jokes about it, and like even like Miss Congeniality. I mean, think
Mhm.
about, oh my gosh, like
Well, and you think it might be not to bring politics in it.
yeah,
However, up until 2015, Mango Mussolini owned the organization, so I could see where
yeah,
you'd have a big pendulum swing now that you've got a woman as the CEO of that organization, bringing it into this century.
no, it's true, and I think bringing it into this century is a good way of putting it because it's women are not just we're about more now, right? Like this
Hmm.
is a scholarship, this is an actual scholarship opportunity. They actually have a platform and an opportunity to do something that could be impactful, and I like that. I think like I said, I think the organization did a great job in making this change. Kudos to them for recognizing the change needed to happen, but also the fact that they made that change. And now we've got a Miss America that is really cool. So
You wonder
okay.
if it'll have any long-term cultural shift changes, though, with
God, I
like
fucking
really,
hope
really.
so.
Well, I mean,
Sorry.
but I mean, super pretty women being assumed they're stupid. Maybe that'll
No,
fade.
agree. No, I agree, and that's exactly it. Like, I hate to think about the fact that when you see that, like, blonde, hmm, I don't want to use
When
a.
somebody is like
People
really
refer blonde
symmetrical and
bimbos, right?
classically
Like,
beautiful, they're assumed to be
yeah,
dumb, and that's
yeah.
sad.
Yeah.
But I think also part of that is because there's the opportunity. Like back when my mom was in school, and where they wouldn't even in the '60s, like she wanted to take college prep classes in high school, and they're like, "No, you're just gonna waste it because you're gonna get married," and they didn't even want to teach them. And I think there's a prevailing cultural attitude when somebody is super pretty, like, "Oh, you don't need to do this." That maybe that will stop, and we can stop
Well,
in
it's
general
like the
being
joke.
judged on our looks.
Yeah.
Well, it's like the joke that people like, you either go to school to get you go to school, men go to school to get a degree and women go to school to get their MRS degree, right? They're
Right?
like,
Ugh.
like to get married and meet somebody that they're going to marry and have kids with.
Yeah,
No,
on that note, I do have a comment about the new CEO and something she said. When asked on stage whether the Miss America organization should change even more and allow married women and women with children to participate, both Schreier and Hill said no. Schreier told reporters afterward she believes the job would be too busy for a mother.
you know what? I'm okay
I'm
with that,
not real
though.
keen on that attitude. If you've got that attitude, make a separate pageant, a Ms. pageant. I mean, you don't want to go Mrs. because that
I
implies
think
married. But just
I
saying,
think
no,
that's
no,
not what
no.
this competition is about, though. I think I understand where she's coming from, because the idea is that they are traveling for their entire year. And honestly, I think that it's not
I
this
I
is a
don't think I don't think it's coming out of a place of maliciousness.
yeah, I don't think it's like, oh, a woman can't be a mother and also do very busy things. I think it's literally just the fact that they are literally traveling for 365 days, pretty much.
Is there an
Like,
age limit on this though too? I mean, what age children too?
well,
And
that's the idea, though, is that these are specifically the women that are, there is an age range for the women. These are all they're all um
mhm.
young women, and there is an age cap on it, and it's associated with like a certain I mean, at the same time, like,
I'm just old, so
I
addressing any
mean, I get
ageism. It's
it.
my job.
I do get where you're coming from. I also I can see where they're coming from with this, that it's
Yeah,
not like it's just not, it's a job also, for a
yeah.
year. It is actually a job. And I think that anybody that has honestly, I think the other reason why they're also usually single is because it is a job that they dedicate an entire year to. It's like going away to do Doctors Without Borders for a long
Well,
period
if
of
there's a
time.
pageant out there for moms, I'd like to know because we
I
need
think there
more role
actually
models
is, though,
too.
to be honest.
After,
But I also think that, like, there's different things, right? At that point, I think the idea here is it's something for girls to look up to, right?
hmm
Like, when I was a little girl and I saw a Miss America pageant, I was like, look at all these pretty women. They're so tall and beautiful, right? Like, I want little girls to look up and like, look at all these beautiful women that are so smart and doing so many cool things. Like,
Oh, and it's gotten so
that's
much more diverse for people of color as well.
oh yeah, and it's been really, honestly, that's been one of the things that has surprised me, is that for years and years it's been very diverse too. Like, that's not
hmm
new at all. But so this year's winner was Virginia biochemist Camille Schreier. So she won. She's the 99th Miss America. But she is originally from Pennsylvania. And did a chemistry demonstration on catalytic decomposition of hydrogen peroxide. That was what she did on stage to
So
display her talent in a lab coat and awesome glasses.
boof. It went boof. It was
Yeah,
fun.
it definitely went boof indeed. In fact, yeah, the article that I linked there, and it'll be in the show notes too, shows an awesome picture from her demonstration. But I liked what she had to say
I have
too.
I have the mind of an immature person looking at the picture.
Yeah, no, I get you. I get you.
uh,
Uh, But
Y'all
she
can go
said
look for
that
yourselves. Link will be in the notes.
no, and I love that her approach is that she wants to break stereotypes about what it means to be a Miss America in 2020 by being a woman of science and someone who's authentic to herself. So I really respect that that's where she's coming from, is she wants more women to, well, to feel comfortable being confident in the fact that they are scientists and that, what do you think of when you think of a scientist? Glasses, like incapable of communication. I mean, how many jokes are there, right?
Mm-hmm.
To look at it again. Hold on. Pulling up the thing.
What do you... What?
Dana. I wanted to look at the picture again.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I'm done. Okay.
So apparently they have not yet agreed to a multi-year contract with the Connecticut casino this was at. But this was this was just a few weeks ago, so we will see where they decide to have it. It might be moving again, it might not. But they did stream it for the first time this year, right?
Yeah,
or last
so
year. Sorry, it's last year now.
Right. So they did stream it. They did, and this is the second year in a row too that the women were not judged in a swimsuit or how they looked in an evening gown.
Mm-hmm.
But what's really special is that this is the first one that was like truly focused on these are real women. So she's 24 years old and she spoke about having tackled an eating disorder. That she decided to compete for Miss America after the swimsuit competition went away. And because of those other changes that happened to modernize the organization, this was not something that she, went out and has been, pining after for years or whatnot. This was something that she only decided to do once the organization announced those changes. So I have a lot of respect for that too.
Fantastic. I might actually watch it next time.
My gosh, sorry.
Jen got distracted.
Yep. I got a really, really, really important text message, so I apologize. It was and I normally would not respond, but it was like a time-sensitive, needed a response now.
Okay.
And it's about money, and I'm sorry, I've got to pay my bills, okay?
I understand.
That's
I just got to remember to keep my notepad here so that it makes editing easier later.
And like just some other examples of how this one was definitely, there's, just some highlights as to what made this one so much different. So Miss America switched back from ABC back to NBC. It also, they also had just examples. So Morgan Nichols, Miss Carolina, she walked down the red carpet wearing a billowing long skirt topped by a plain white t-shirt that read "Stronger," which is cool. Like, I think that's, that it's just a different, you can tell there's just a different feeling overall.
So you actually watched this, like, why is there Miss Carolina? Do we not have a North and South Carolina?
You know what? I don't know. There should be both.
Because it says all 50 states, so who the hell
including
is Miss Carolina?
It's 51. Yeah, I think it might be Miss. I don't know. Well, I mean, unless Puerto Rico is included and there's only one for the Carolinas?
No, I don't.
Now I'm curious because I just looked and I was just thinking Miss Carolina is what she's listed as.
Who hailed from all 50 states and the District of Columbia.
Mm-hmm.
So who the hell is Miss Carolina? There's two of us.
Huh. Are you trying to not associate yourself with the other Carolinas?
No, there's only North Carolina and South Carolina. There isn't a Carolina.
I just want to know how
the article might have just left a word out.
Responsible for.
And a moment of it.
I know, it's like, hold on, we will get there. We're getting answers.
We're getting
answers. For
South Carolina. South Carolina.
Okay, so they just left it out of the article that was Miss South Carolina.
That was not very nice of them.
Okay.
But hold on. If you look, I'm pulling up a picture. If you look at her, oh no, that's a different thing. Oh, okay, I know where that is.
Yeah. So Alexander Badgett was Miss North Carolina.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then Miss South Carolina is the one I was talking about.
Okay.
So yes, Morgan Nichols, which by the way, she is absolutely gorgeous, and is kind of a badass. I listened to her speak a little bit too. Her big thing, her social impact thing is stronger with STEM. That was her push,
Right on.
and as a hardcore STEMinist, as you all know, I think she's really awesome. So I liked her a lot too. But yeah, no, overall, you like I said, watching it and you could just feel the difference this year. I mean, they made the swimsuit change already. That's been in place for a little bit now, but this was just a really big shift overall, and just the culture around the pageant, how people respond to the pageant, how they're talking about the pageant. It's not really considered a quote unquote. I don't even know. Do they still call it a pageant? No, I'm wondering. Maybe it's called a competition.
I think it's a competition now.
Now I'm wondering. Yeah, I don't even think they call it the pageant anymore. I think it's now a competition. Yeah.
I don't know.
That right there is like a subtle change, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I love it. Oh yeah, here we go. So yeah, organizers want to make it clear the 99th Miss America competition isn't your grandmother's beauty pageant. There you go.
There you go.
Awesome. Oh, any other thoughts about Miss America, y'all?
Nope.
Oh boy. Well, let's see here. Let's go ahead and wrap things up then. Oh boy. So if you have anything else you'd like to add, honestly, about our discussion about the Miss America competition. Yeah, see that? Competition. You can always chime in again. Email us, geekgrills@gmail.com. You can also tweet us at geekgrills. But in the meantime, Grills, what are y'all looking forward to coming up soon? So, Linda, what's on deck for you?
On Saturday, we are recording our glitter dice for February. So, because glitter dice is only once a month, and that's fine. That's fine.
I hear ya.
Yeah. So that'll be fun. I'm also doing our patron stream for Glitter Dice on Saturday. So if you're a patron of Glitter Dice, you can watch me make something. I don't know what I'm doing yet. I might play a game. I might make something. Who knows? I'm hoping by Wednesday to get the email from MomoCon, because if I don't, and I'm not in Artist Alley, I'm going to find somewhere to sell all of my plushies. I'll find a thing. I know people. And then I'm hoping this week to finish up my big commission, because I took it on. It's 3 sets of crocheted slippers, a scarf, and it was going to be bigger, but then I told her how much it would cost, and she slimmed it down. And I'm stressed, strangely enough. I guess because it's such a big commission, and like usually I can get something done in like a week, but with all of it, it's taking longer, and I guess I'm just pushing myself to try and get it done very quickly, which is probably not healthy, but I shouldn't be stressed, but I am a little bit.
You'll get it. You'll get it.
Yeah, I thought crochet was in particular a more zen, de-stressing type hobby.
It is until you've got deadlines and stuff, and then it's a lot more intense. Like my beautiful big blanket that I made, that was like, I shall title this blanket "Unemployment." No, I had all the time I wanted to do it. You know, like it's different when you're like, I have a commission, I have things I have to finish, and I have a deadline. Yeah, it's definitely different in that way.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let me see. I'm looking forward to trying to make more gym time. We had a lot of illnesses in my house between, through the holidays, starting on fricking the day after Halloween. So I started finally getting back, and I need to make more time for that because it's good for me. I'm job hunting. I want to supplement our income, and I want to feel more independent. Somebody who knows somebody in Bernie Sanders' organization asked me if I would work for him. Maybe, but I'm job hunting. I have a lot of different skills. If anybody has a heads up, let me know. And I have a new project that someone handed me that I'm going to start making for my gig at the Coffee Lodge, where I sell stuff. Apparently, you can buy these on Pinterest, but they're always really overpriced and expensive, and like the main source is in France. But it's like for people who are trying to do less waste, and I happen to know like 10 people who want to do this in the new year, carrying your own silverware. So it's basically like a roll-up tie or roll up Velcro thing to carry your own silverware. And I've looked at designs. It's easy enough. I can make those. So I'm going to probably start selling some of those, and hopefully that goes well.
Right.
I might commission you one for LARP. We use lots and lots of plasticware at LARP.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm going to be making prototypes hopefully this week. And I'll put pictures on Facebook, and you can let me know what you want.
Okay.
Awesome. I am going to continue to try to prepare myself emotionally, mentally, and physically for this program I'm about to dive into, because it's going to be a lot. I knew it was going to be a lot, and it's accelerated, and it's crazy. And then I went to the orientation, and there were like videos of people that were like, what advice would I give somebody going into this program? Oh yeah, inform your friends and family that you don't have as much time as you expect. Clear up your obligations. Make sure you drink lots of water, eat healthy, maybe meal prep ahead of time. I'm like, okay, great. This is going to be cool. So maybe a little more intense than I had prepped for. So I'm trying to get myself ready for that. But also just, trying to get settled here in town and figure out, where things are, what things are. I literally left my house at one point to drive. I was like, I got in my car, like I was going to drive to the old Indian restaurant in Tucson. And then I went, oh crap, I don't live in Tucson anymore. I guess I need to figure out where an Indian restaurant is. Whoops.
Whoopsie doodles.
Right? So there's a lot of that. I plan on playing more Minecraft. I'm going to try to figure out a time for streaming. I had some podcast projects I was working on. I've decided to put those on hold until after my program is completed. I just decided that it was much better to do that. I'm working on some projects with folks right now that are not necessarily time sensitive, but so I can just work on those when I have time. But as far as, other new things that I'd planned, I'm pushing that all off until end of
prioritizing our long-term show.
Oh, of course. Oh, no, of course. And Geek Girls, obviously, that was like, okay, I can.
I was terrified.
Like one
I was
commitment.
terrified. I was like, oh my god, she's gonna do 15 other shows and we're gonna fade. And oh my god.
No. I do have some things I want to work on though, and I do have some projects that I'm excited about. And Drew, if those of you that listen to America's Next Top Podcaster, he was the first person eliminated, which he was from my team, and it was crazy because I was like, oh my god, we just lost the best person on our team. What the fuck? So he and I have had a lot of fun making silly things on the Wild Cards team, which is those of us that have been eliminated. We started making our own stuff, and he and I just have a lot of fun. So we have a project we're working on that'll be a standalone dramedy. So there's a little tidbit on what we're working on. But that's something I can be writing and working on aside from it, and we won't be putting that out until it's all done anyway. But yeah, so just trying to get my life together, basically. That's what I'm doing.
That reminded me. I'm listening to Ake Willow.
Oh, yes.
It's so good.
If you're not listening to Ake Willow, you should be. If you're not listening to Raise the Dead, you should be. If you are at all interested in history, American history, or politics, or anything like that at all, you need to listen to Jury's Raise the Dead. It talks about the 1960 election and how similar it was to the election of Trump. It also, I was a friggin' politics major, and I know a lot about elections, and I have already learned many, many things I did not know. So anywhere you find podcasts, you can find Raise the Dead, or go to raisetheddeadpodcast.com. And then same thing for JF Dubois and Amy Frost, who we had on the show recently. JF Dubois, who we've had on the show multiple times because he's an awesome author. They work together on a project called Ake Willow, which is like ache like a headache, and then willow like the tree. Again, on all your podcatchers, definitely worth it to check that out. It's really good.
It's about a kitchen witch. It's so cool.
It is about a kitchen witch.
That's something Rob and I have been saving to listen together for drives, and we haven't gone anywhere. So I'm like dying.
Right?
I'm so looking forward to that one.
Yeah, with all my travel, I got a chance to listen to quite a few podcasts.
Yeah.
Oh, also, thanks to the jackass on my plane that didn't want to sit next to me and got off the plane instead, United gave me a bunch of credit. So I think I'm going to go to JedCon this year. I'm going to use it to fly to JedCon. That's a longer story that maybe someday I'll tell. Or maybe after the recording. After show. See?
Yeah.
You stick around for the after show, you get the good shit.
Go.
So with that, let's get into our reminders.
Okay. Remember, folks, you can always come watch us record live at twitch.tv/geekgrills. That'll be on Monday evenings, except for the first one of the month. Our next one will be on January 20th, 2020 at 5 p.m. Pacific Time, 8 p.m. Eastern.
Also, in addition to the subs and bits that we get here on Twitch, we are supported by our patrons. So you are the greatest girlfriends on the internet, as always. And you can become a patron at patreon.com/grills. And don't forget, if you do have an Amazon Prime, you do get us one free sub a month that you can use. So you can use that on us. Give us Jeff Bezos' money. He doesn't need it. Give it to us instead. So do it on Twitch. Yes.
And another way to show your support is by leaving us a review. You can do so on any of your podcast catchers. Leaving a review is free, and they help our ranking, which help other people find us, which is great. Also, you can join our Facebook page and follow us on Twitter if you'd like to help spread the word.
So where can folks find you on the interwebs, Linda?
You can also listen to me talk about women in gaming on the Glitter Dice podcast, which comes out on the 1st of every month. And you can sometimes find me on Twitch under the name True Noob. That's TRUN00B. I might be changing it up. Who knows? We'll see.
I can be reached at 9 of 12 on Twitter and Twitch. And I will take this opportunity to let folks know that Heresy and Hearsay is currently on hiatus until March.
I'm the Jen. I'm the Jen. Duh. I'm at the Jen Says on Twitter. And I'm streaming on Twitch at twitch.tv/thegen. Again, I know my streams have been limited. I haven't gotten my setup done completely at the new place. So just keep an eye on my Twitter. Anytime I do go live, I put it there. But also thegensays.com will take you to my Twitch page too. So rock on, because I own that domain. I own the shit out of it. But thanks for listening, everyone. Good game.
Good game.
Well played.
Yay! This thing.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program. Also, I still love that I keep forgetting that I have my tattoo, and then I see it, and then I remember it, that it exists. And then I remember it. I'm like, oh yeah, I did brand myself. I still love trying to explain to people what that tattoo... Oh, so show's done. Yay, guys.
Yep.
Let's vote on the title. But on the side note, yeah, so I've been
didn't-
trying to explain to people what my tattoo is. So instead of like trying to explain what Diamond Club is, I just tell people it's a mental health tattoo.
Okay.
Which is accurate, right? Is it not?
Sure. Because you're not in a cult.
Not Your Grandmother's Beauty Pageant is pretty strong.
I like that one.
Also, Hardcore STEMinists.
I like Hardcore STEMinists.
They're both really good. Oh yeah, so I'll give you the abridged version. I got on a plane, guy sitting in the window seat. I'm supposed to be in the middle seat. Seatbelt is wrapped around the armrest. So I go to move the seatbelt off of it, and the man is like, "Oh my gosh, you're squishing me!" And I was like, "Okay, I just need to move this." He's like, "No, it needs to go down." I was like, "I'm gonna put it down as soon as I get the seatbelt back." And then he's just like, "You're too big for the seat. You need 2 seats. Why are you? Blah, 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 blah. I can't sit next to you," and starts yelling at me. So a flight attendant comes up, and I am the best way to describe it is that if I could have climbed into an overhead bin and like hidden myself away, I would have, because this guy went from like 0 to 60 on his rage out, and the flight attendant basically told him that if he didn't want to sit there, that he could leave the plane. So he did, and apparently went gallivanting through the gate, telling everybody there that he wasn't going to sit next to some 500-pound woman, and blah 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 blah.
God.
And it was just this whole fucking shit show. Anyway, this very tiny petite woman who was super awesome sat next to me instead. She let me have the window seat, and she laughed, and she was just like, "You clearly don't weigh 500 pounds." And I was like, "No, I do not." Not even close. But yeah, apparently that's what he did. And because of that, United was like, "We don't want this to be a problem." So as soon as the flight took off, the flight attendants came over and were like, "We apologize. You'll be getting an email with information on the vouchers that you have for free travel in the next year. And also, you can have anything you want to eat or drink on this flight." It's like, thank you. But also, like, it was the most embarrassing thing ever. Like, it was fucking traumatizing. But it does mean that I might have a ticket to go to Gen Con this year.
There's that.
So,
thanks,
guys.
Silver linings, but still rude.
Right? Like, it's one of those things where, like, I've always dealt with that because I'm a bigger person, but I do fit in the seat.
Yeah.
You know, Curly and I
You
talk
should
about
have
this a
tweeted at
lot.
Kevin
Like,
Smith about it because he had that
right? I
happen
should
years
be like,
ago.
well, that was the thing. And the one thing I was really proud of actually was I know United had good reason to be very careful about how they handled it. But the thing is, it wasn't their fault, yet they handled it right away. They handled it professionally. And when I got off the plane, the captain actually apologized to me by name when I was walking off the plane.
Wow.
So, like, they went
Huh.
out of their way to make it clear that they felt really bad about what happened. And fuck that guy anyway. I did find out, too, that he also didn't get on a flight the night before. Because he had cussed out the flight attendant at the gate,
Well then.
or the gate attendant, and that was the woman that sat next to me. Is from Vegas, or had been living in Vegas for a couple years, and so we sat and talked the whole flight, and she told me about all of the fun places that I should go eat at in Vegas. So that was cool.
Nice.
And she was so funny because she was like, "Man, I walked up. She's like, the look on your face." Because I was just like, what can I do to not exist right now? Like, I just want to be in my own little world. And it was, and he wasn't a skinny guy either, which made it even worse. So it was a whole
Right.
thing.
Dick.
It was a whole crazy
Ugh.
experience.
I gotta get going. I gotta pick up my son from work pretty soon.
No worries. Do we have a coin flip for this? Linda, you're the tiebreaker. Do you want hardcore STEMinists or not your grandmother's beauty pageant?
I voted for hardcore STEMinist.
All right,
Yay.
I'm gonna. All right, let's do it. Do it.
Okay,
Hardcore
we'll do
STEMinists.
that.
Dig it. All right, y'all. Thanks everybody for hanging out. Sorry for the chaos at the beginning, but I'm excited that we are back in business. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
All right, bye, folks.
See you
Oh
next
shit.
week.
Let's. Oh, hold on. Can we raid somebody real quick? Hold on. Sorry, my bad. I'm an
Oh,
idiot.
yeah,
I think we should be able to raid Curly, honestly.
Kyle. I don't see.
Who else is
Curly.
Diamond Club though? I was trying to keep it in the
Drunk
DQ.
Lid's on. Yeah. Curly's on. Kyle Ferguson is on.
Is Curly on?
Drunk Kids
Yeah.
Gaming. Yes, he is.
Yeah, he should be. Let's just raid Curly. Let's give him the old raid. He needs the live.
I
His work is
tried my
stress.
stream being stupid.
Where?
Y'all. Go if you aren't following Curly. He's Drunk Kids Gaming, and he is a member of the Diamond Club .tv team as well. So, give him some love, and thank y'all for joining us. Y'all are awesome. I
Yep.
love it.
We're
See you next
back.
week.
See you
See you next week. Bye bye.
Bye.
Okay, there that. Read it.